Hey, what's up guys? It's your boy JP Comic Game here, and in this video I'm going to teach you how to devastate correctly. You know, what perks you should be using, what you shouldn't using, you know, mid-game and possibly end-game, you know. So I'm going to be teaching you what mods go really well with this class. So yeah, we'll just start with the skills, right? Now, in my opinion, you should always have Golem on. It will help a great deal with your survivability. Lasts 20 seconds. It lasts 8 seconds, but you can make it last longer with mods. But basically increases your defense. It's great for boss fights. Just great for everything. You know, when you're taking a lot of damage, activate that. Increases your armor by a ton. And then Tremor, when you do unlock it, basically you unleash basically a series of explosions that absorb health from enemies. So that will be your heal, and it's very handy. You know, you're up close and personal, so you'll be absorbing health, and when you kill enemies up close, you heal health with this class anyway. So ideally, you want to use a shotgun up close range with this class, or any up close weapon. And the third weapon, the third skill of choice is up to you. We'll just go through from the start to the end, from the beginning to the end. So you will start with Earthquake. It's an average skill at best. Pretty bad AoE, only hits enemies in front of you, doesn't do anything special. Interrupts enemies who are casting abilities sometimes. Then you got Gravity Leap, jumps into the air, and you press it again, and you come slamming down, depending on the enemy you chose. But he stays in there for just a few seconds, so you need to press the button for him to smash enemies, and he'll come basically superhero land and crash the enemies. If there's no enemies, he'll just come back down. There'll be a small cooldown, but it'll be like 2 seconds before you can use it again. Reflect bullets. Basically, he puts up a shield in front of him that reflects bullets, and you cannot use weapons, attack, or do anything while reflect bullets is active. And then you got Impale. Basically does a little bit of damage to the enemy, but if you do get a kill with it, they will be impaled on the spike and give you a health boost and armor boost as well to you and your allies. So it's best to get enemy low health and then do it and then kill him, you know. And then we got Boulder Dash. You can use this if you want, but he basically covers himself in armor, runs through a bunch of enemies, but the tracking on this and the movement on this is random, and it's weird and strange. I wouldn't use it, but he can run past your target. So you want to attack a target, he can completely run past them, and you can't stop him running past an enemy. As soon as you activate it, he runs a certain distance and crashes and slams the ground, and the AoE is not impressive. It's very tiny. The only way to make him like slam the ground early is if you jump over cover. He will slam immediately after you jump over cover. And then you got Endless Mass. I had high hopes for this skill. It had a lot of potential, but again, it left a lot to be desired. It sucks enemies in. That's its whole gimmick. Besides that, doesn't really do much. You know, mods can make it do a little bit more, but when you hit an enemy with this, the enemy you encase in stone, you can't hit them or damage them at all. So that's really disappointing. It would be nice if you could damage the enemy encased in stone, but you can't. They just kind of pull in other enemies in front of them. So yeah, it's up to you if you want to use any other skill. With mods, they become slightly better. Like you can get another one here, extra damage on this one. With Golem, you can basically make it increase double the time. It's got double the uptime, so instead of 8 seconds, it lasts 16 seconds. That's why I've got mine on 16 right there, which is a long time. So you always want to have double duration for Golem. Reflect bullets. It's got a perk that allows you to fight, but it does less damage to enemies, but it allows you to fight and use weapons and stuff. So that's that's when you should use reflect bullets, as well as you can increase this damage. So and then spikes, you can have multiple spikes, 2 spikes instead of 1, and have it, I think you can have it cast, you can cast it twice before it cools down. And tremor, which is my favorite, you can increase the amount of explosions it does. Each explosion absorbs health, so it only does 3 explosions normally, but you can make it go up to 6 with perks, so that's a lot of health damage. Boulder Dash, you can have increased damage, armor, but the tracking on it is kind of weird, and it's very, you can have it, you know, inflict a number of status effects on the enemies. So overall, the skills, I would put Golem and Tremor as your top skills, and if you're fighting humanoid opponents, use reflect bullets with the ability to fight, and that's probably your best bet, because the enemies will kill themselves by trying to kill you with the guns. But if you're fighting only humanoid opponents with guns, if you're fighting monsters, insects, and you know, all these other crawly creatures, they don't really have guns to shoot you, so you can use Endless Mass or Impale. I prefer to use Gravity Leap, you know, just for the verticality, jump in the air. I use it as a travel tool as well, so you can hit any enemy from quite a far distance, you know. So but either or will help. These are like the best skills. With the Devastator skills, with the Devastator class points, I would just say go with whatever you want, depending on your playstyle. I'm a close range kind of playstyle with this class, so got a bit of shotgun damage and skills that will help me survive close range, like, you know, killing an enemy, you take some of the armor, you know, increase, and then close range, increase what's considered close range by 4 meters. So if enemies are 4 meters away and I kill them, it's still close range. So and then increase your healing and shield. And then this one is when you're about to die, ignore that damage and gain 50% of the health. So I'm sure there's a bunch of better skill trees, but just pick whatever you want on this one. I haven't yet explored it, if I'm being honest, that much, but you know, you can reset the skill tree and spec it how you want, you know, it's not very restrictive. But the main thing about Devastator is our damage isn't the best. Other classes, they got the elemental bullets and stuff like that, which boost the DPS, but we're kind of nerfed. We can't really do that much damage, but we can survive crazy, you know. While everyone else is dying around you, you'll just be laughing and thinking, asking yourself, why are these weaklings dying? You know, why are these guys dying? Get up. But because we got the best armor, strongest armor, you know, the most armor, and we can regenerate health pretty easily, and our skills are pretty defensive. As for armor, weapons and perks, I tend to focus on damage dealing perks for the armor, for the damage dealing perks for the weapons. So, but that's up to you. You spec how your weapons how you want. It's pretty open, you know, you can pretty much do what you want. I like vulnerability because you can increases your damage dealt to enemies, you know. So just pick whatever damage perks you like. Use whatever legendaries you like. Now these are for the armor perks. Here's some essential perks that you need to use to help you play and last longer in a fight, you know. So definitely you should be using Perseverance. Increases the skill duration of Golem, basically doubles it from 8 seconds to 16. And then if you're fighting humanoid opponents with guns, you can go for the Reflect Bullets build. So if you're running Reflect Bullets build, this is a must-have perk. Reflect Bullets, you can now fight while the skill is active, so you can run around on and fight while the skill is active, and it negates 50% damage. But yeah, but to be honest, it's not going to do that much damage until you put other mods on it. So if you're going to use this Reflect Bullet build, I suggest you pair it up with Auto Reflect, and definitely need bullet acceleration, which increases the damage of reflect bullet. Those two effects basically do insane damage. If you want to make it overkill, you can put hollow point. All the bullets basically do way more damage because the enemy will be nerfed with vulnerable status. And then you can also nerf them again and apply bleed, so they'll bleed as well as take more damage. And then you can increase the skills duration by 20% with these perks, extra time. And then this is good for enemies with high health. They'll take 50% more damage. But you know, in most cases you don't need all those perks. You just need auto reflect and bullet acceleration. For Tremor, of course, the most important one is crush sequence. Increase 2x explosions. That will give you 5. But if you really wanted one more, you could say give me more, and that'll put your extra explosions at 6, because it normally just gives you 3 without any perks. With these 2 perks on, crush sequence and give me more, you gain 2, you gain 3 total, giving you 6 explosions. And then Human Fortress is another great skill. You drain more health and increase your armor while using it. So this is good because you will be surrounded by enemies while using this, so it's good to have an extra boost of armor. And these perks do not stack. And then if you're going to use the Impale skill, Impaler is good, gives you an extra additional Impale skill. And then you can also have Sharpen Spike. Impale does more damage, better chance of killing them in one hit. Spike Forest is also another good one. You Impale, instead of striking one target, you can get 2 targets. But yeah, most of the skills, besides the skills I mentioned, most of the skills is not necessary, you know. In general, the ones that allow you to use a skill a little bit, another extra time, is generally the best skill. You know, Endless Mass, if you're going to use it, there's some Bleed Them All skill, bleeds all the enemies. And Mosh Pit gives them vulnerability, which is good. I'd pick vulnerability over bleed. Or you can use this perk, Shattered Armor, which increases weapon damage for 10 seconds by 20%. And then here's some tier 2. These are universal mods that can increase your survivability. There's Damage Absorber, which basically just increases your armor. And then Plate Dodge, Rolling, increases your armor for 5 seconds. So just a little bit armor increases, make it harder to kill. You know, but in general, these are not needed. They're just extras that will help you stay in the fight a lot longer. Mitigation from Death, another great perk. Aiming your weapon grants you armor. Just aiming your weapon downsides and killing them. Just kill one enemy, you got armor for 10 seconds. And then this emergency stance, activate Golem for 4 seconds when you're below 30% health. You know, so it's a bit overkill, but you will usually have Golem up, but it does activate Golem again if you're using Devastator. So you will have Golem up for a long time if you're taking big amounts of damage. There's also another perk that gives you shields at 30% health. You can put that on if you want. It gives you insane potential. And most of those skills are universal, so besides the class specific ones, most of those skills are universal, so you can use them on any class. Yeah, that's my video. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you want to see any more.